The art of detachment. If you're able to use detachment in wholesaling, I'll teach you how to make millions and prosper. And in this video, we're going to show you how to detach yourself from all the offers you make to your sellers and why this is crucial to be successful in wholesaling.
What's up, guys? Zach in here.
Rick in here.
And in today's video, we're ready to talk about the art of detachment and how you can wholesaling real estate business. Nobody really talks about the art of detachment. Absolutely can be killer for your wholesaling real estate success. My name's Zach. So I've done over 1,000 real estate wholesaling deals.
My name's Rick, and I've probably done over 2,000. I've done over 3,000 deals, and I'm here to tell you the detachment is real. So listen, when we go out and we meet with sellers, you've got to understand we're looking for people that don't want to sell their property, that need to sell their property, and you understand that distinction. So what we're going to do with detachment is you've got to learn how to use that phrase and turn it around so you can get leverage over your seller. And this is in a good way. You want the deal, but learning the art of detachment, understand that you don't need to have the deal to be a successful wholesaler. And if you can understand that distinction, we're going to walk you through how it works and why it works.
Before we get into it, do me a big favor. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe, and let's talk about it. So the definition of detachment is basically the definition of separating. You must separate yourself from the deal. And I think the first thing we have to talk about here is separating our emotions from wholesaling. And unfortunately, this isn't like we're stock trading or we're doing this some crazy buying and selling, importing, exporting, where it's really not emotional, right? It is completely emotional wholesaling. And that's the issue. And that's the part you have to detach yourself, because when it comes to doing a deal, it's all about the emotions of with the seller, right? But you have to detach yourself from the deal. Most home buyers emotionally get attached when they buy a property. When you're looking to buy a property, you have to almost act disinterested, right? So let's use the dog example, right? So if you have a dog and they run out in the middle of the street and you don't have many options, right? This is not a good situation to be in. Honestly, what I've always found, which has always been the truth, if you can go to the dog, get their attention, and then run away from them, the dog will run after you. And if you run after the dog in the street, they're just going to run away and think it's a game. It's the same thing with anything, right? And so many people get so confused with that, and they feel like they have to act like they're so interested in buying somebody's house. And really, it's kind of like buying a car. Sort of act like you're not that interested in buying it, and they have to sell you. And it works so well.
Yeah. So the art of detachment is about separation. So we use the dog analogy. It's probably the best one. The harder you chase the dog, the further they're going to run from you, and the longer it is going to get your result. You wind up being confused, and the dog winds up being confused. So the reality is, you know that wholesaling is somewhat of a numbers game. The reality is you are going to be rejected more than you get accepted. That's how it works. So if you understand that you're basically buying houses based on sellers' emotions, because that's how we do it, you now have to flip that around and you have to remove your emotions, because your emotions are going to toy with you, especially if you're a new wholesaler. Let me give you an example. You go out there, you make an offer, you do everything right. Maybe you chase a little too hard. Then you go home and you're like, oh my God, I hope I get this deal. I get this deal. Like, I need this deal. And then you stop marketing, you stop prospecting for other motivated sellers, and then you become dependent on it. We're here to teach you the art of detachment. Is once you make that offer, we don't want you to chase, and you have to have kind of that car salesman threat of, I can walk away at any time without like saying it.
I'm walking.
So like, how do you do that in detachment? The idea is make your offer and then have them work with you and understand if you chase too far over the line, there's a natural human tendency is like, why does he want this property so bad? Like, how much is this guy going to make off me? And you start to create self-doubt in your sellers, whereas opposed to go, well, if it doesn't work out, I understand. So many of you guys are just so rooted in your emotions. We teach you that an emotional decision and a wholesale transaction is in your favor if it's your seller's emotion, not your emotion. So it's important that you get some sort of detachment. It doesn't mean you don't care about getting the deal. But once you make your offer and your best pitches, you have to sit back and let them come back to you. And because if you continue to chase and chase and chase, you're probably never even going to get an answer. And that's the reality. So if you learn the art of detachment, amazing things can happen in your wholesaling business.
So the main part here is just separating yourself from the results of it. And I always tell everybody, when you're talking to a motivated seller, and if you give an offer to a seller, most of the time they're going to say no. And I'm just being completely honest with you. They are going to say no to you. And I have found 80 to 90% of the time, they're going to say no to me. And I get so many wholesalers or beginners that come up to me and they're like, oh, I have this lead. I'm excited about it. I'm comping it. I'm going to talk to them. Like, wait. You're comping it. You're looking at it. You're getting excited and you haven't talked to the seller. There's a 90% chance they don't even want to sell to you. You have to detach yourself from the results to a point, right? So one example I always get is we had one guy come on and talk to us, right? And he pulled 450 leads and he talked to 200 sellers and he didn't get one deal and he thought about quitting, right? Here's the funniest part. I'm like, you talked to 200 sellers and they didn't want to say no and they all said no. Duh. It takes about 400 or 500 drawing for dollars leads to get 4 yeses just to get a deal. Like, it's crazy. It's like making a free throw, right? right? Michael Jordan, he's one of the best basketball players of all time. If he missed a free throw, he's not going to mentally throw himself off the entire game, thinks he's a loser because he missed one shot, right? And I find this all the time, guys. Every single offer I've ever given my entire career, I've actually had more no's than yeses. And that's because I give a lot of offers, right? Especially when I give the offers out, especially on the live cold calls I do on Tuesdays. Like I would say about, okay, in person, my closing rate's actually, 70%. That's pretty high. But like, because I've done so many virtual offers in front of you guys, I would say 40% of my offers are accepted, right? And if I'm doing like virtual, like FISBOs, it's going to be like 10% or even 15. But the coolest part is when the person says yes, that's a 10, 15, $20,000 deal. Like that's big money. And I think so many people, they get so emotionally attached to the result early on. And if you just look at your results on the macro perspective, you're going to do so much better. You cannot identify your worth, your identity, your value as a human being based on how many deals you did, right? I think so many people do that. And really just detach yourself. And I have found when I've detached myself from a closing, talking to a motivated seller, like, hey, I'm looking to buy your house. Here's the honest truth. I don't need to buy your house. I'm probably going 4 or 5 more appointments. If you don't want to sell it to me, that's fine. I'm just going to buy another house. But hey, we're here. You want to do it? We can do it, right? If you act more disinterested, it's going to be a lot more interesting, right? It's always a weird example, but like if you just go up, and I see so many beginners do this, act so interested. Like, I want to buy your house. I'm so excited to buy your house. Yeah. This is great. I'm ready to buy your house. Seller's like, wait, why are you so interested? This is weird, right? And just if you kind of act like I hate to call it the cool guy, right? Like, yeah, come by to the party. That's the cool part, right? That's the cool guy in high school. And you sort of have to be like that when it comes to buying a house. Like, if I buy the house, I'll buy the house. But like, I mean, 70,000, get another one way cheaper. You have to have the motivated seller sell you. And that's how you really change things up. I think so many wholesalers get that really confused.
Yeah. So I'm going to sum it up real simple for you. You value the acceptance of any contract in wholesaling or anything you get, but you can't not let your self-worth, your value be dependent on that outcome. Meaning understanding you're going to miss more than you hit. People that are hanging on 2 or 3 contracts, I don't know what to do if they don't accept them. You're looking at the business all wrong. So when you do the art of detachment, yes, we do value the acceptance and we want it, but I'm not going to let the rejection be a determinant of my self-worth in that moment. Because think about this. Michael Jordan go through high school. He got cut from his team. What he did, he just got remotivated. It probably set him back a little bit, but he kept going. When people make 1,000 free throws, what about the 100 free throws they missed? You go, oh, I missed it. I can't keep going on. Guys, you're going to get rejected. Just don't let it define you. You are not in the emotional aspect of this. And art of detachment is about emotional maturity in business. Once you understand that, this is an odds game. It's a numbers game. Do not be dependent on the outcome of any one deal and never, ever let it define your worth, or even better yet, your attitude for the day, because your family deserves better. You have to understand the art of detachment is real in business and it is really specific in wholesaling.
I agree. Once you start acting like you care less about the seller, and here's the honest truth. When you start acting like you could care less, the seller starts selling themselves to you. And especially in this market, when you have more motivations in the sellers, once the seller tries to sell more of you, like, hey, no, can you do this price? Can you do this price? Because they just want to get rid of it. This is how you start getting 40, 50, 60, $70,000 deals. You don't get huge deals by acting super eager to buy at the price right there, right? And this can be a lot of things. I've used the art of detachment to get $100,000 deals because I had a seller when he sell for 200 and I was like, I can't do 200. Oh, you 200, I'm walking. I'm like, okay, fine. I can't do 200. Go find somebody else to buy this thing trash for 200. Guess what happened? Follow up a month later. Hey, are you still looking to sell this thing? I'm still at 140 on this. Oh, that's too low. Follow up again, follow up again, follow up again. And eventually they're like, can you do 160? Let's go out and look at it again. Let's do 150. Then boom, buy it for 150, sold it for like what? I think 290 on the market. A lot of expenses with that, obviously, but like, guys, a lot of this detachments with the follow-up because it might take some time, but you just got to look at the deal. Each deal is in a different kind of basis of what you want to do, but it will create you leverage, right? It will leverage you to get bigger margins on your deals because if you act like you're not caring, the sellers to sell themselves. And if they can't sell themselves on why they should sell to you, they have to sell themselves on the price. And then they start going down in price. And that's when things start changing, right? Especially in this market where your cash buyers are wanting more and more deals, which deservingly so with the market. You have all the leverage as the buyer, as the wholesaler. You have that leverage in that conversation with the seller. Like, I don't know if I want to buy this thing, right? Where versus like when things got a little crazy, when the prices were going up, the seller's like, I'm detached from this. I just want the price. I don't need to sell the house anymore.
So guys, keep in mind, if you're a new wholesaler and you find yourself over eager, and listen, we've all been there, and you're chasing too hard, it usually means you're going to pay way more than you need to, and you're not going to create the spreads, especially that you need in today's market. So keep this in mind. When you chase a seller and you just keep chasing them without any type of recourse, meaning there's no walk away, way, they have leverage over you. If you use the art of detachment, you remove your emotions from the final outcome, you have leverage over your sellers. If you can understand this key terminology, you can increase your profit margins through the roof. Guys, this is critical to be successful in wholesaling. Are you using the art of detachment?
Let us know if you're going to start using the art of detachment and how you can use it, guys. It's really simply just caring less about the deal and caring more about just getting the deal done to a point, right? Like getting your emotions out of it. Still keep the emotions, get the motivation from the seller. A lot of things about detachments too is like, hey, Mr. Seller, I know you want to be at this price, but I can't do this price because of this, this, and this. And be kind of not calling it cold, like logical to the point with that. So guys, let me know if you're using that in your wholesaling real estate business and if you should. And if you are, because I'm telling you guys, you should. There's a reason why I made an entire video on this, because if you start implementing these strategies, you're just going to get better discounts on your deal.
Guys, make sure you're using the art of detachment in your wholesaling business.
If you got any value from this video, do us a big favor. Make sure you smash the like button and subscribe. This is Zach signing out.
Rick signing out.
Have a blessed one. Thank you guys.